There's a correct way to peel a banana, a correct way to sit on a toilet, and a correct way to use a can opener that you've probably never tried in your life. This is 101 everyday things you've been using wrong for years, maybe your whole life, and most of them are so obvious you'll be mad nobody told you sooner. 1. Bobby pins have a ridged side and a smooth side. The ridged side grips hair, the smooth side just vibes. Guess which side everyone puts against their head. If your pins slide out every 30 minutes, you've been installing them upside down since middle school and blaming the product like it personally wronged you. 2. You own a can opener. You've used it 1,000 times, and there's a decent chance you've been using it wrong. Most people clamp it on the side of the can, turn it sideways, clamp it on top, and it glides along the rim. No sharp edges. No slicing your finger open like it's a blood ritual for soup. 3. Every time you rip aluminum foil off the roll and the whole tube launches out of the box like a missile, that's on you. Both ends of the box have perforated tabs you're supposed to push in. They lock the roll in place. The solution has been right there, printed on the box, patiently waiting for you to read anything ever. 4. You peel bananas from the stem like you're cracking open a safe. Pinch the bottom instead. It splits instantly, no bruising, no wrestling the stem until it turns into a mushy hinge. Monkeys do it this way. Literal monkeys figured this out before the entire human race. We built smartphones and still can't open a banana without a struggle. 5. Post-it notes curl up every time you stick them to something because you peel them upward from the bottom. Peel from the side instead, left to right, and they lay completely flat against the surface. Decades of office workers staring at sad, curling sticky notes, and the fix was literally just pulling in a different direction. 6. That Chinese takeout box is a plate. The wire handle comes off, the sides fold down, and the whole thing opens into a flat, clean eating surface. Millions of people eat out of the box like raccoons digging through a dumpster when the entire container was literally engineered to unfold. Respect the design. 7. When you pour from a carton with the spout closest to the cup, you get that aggressive glugging that splashes everywhere. Flip it, spout on top. Air flows in smoothly, liquid comes out in a clean, steady stream. Your kitchen counter didn't sign up to get baptized in orange juice at 7 in the morning. 8. Your spaghetti spoon has a hole in the middle, and it's not just for draining. That hole is a portion guide. One serving of dry spaghetti fits through it perfectly. You've been eyeballing pasta amounts your entire life, cooking enough to feed a small village, and the measuring tool was already in your utensil drawer the whole time. 9. Floss before you brush, not after. Flossing loosens all the bacteria and debris stuck between your teeth. Brushing afterward sweeps it all away. If you brush first and floss second, you just dislodged a bunch of gunk and left it sitting in your mouth. Think about that next time you smile at someone. 10. You peel ginger with a knife and lose half of it to the cutting board. Use a spoon instead. Scrape the edge along the skin and it comes off clean, follows every weird bump and curve like it was made for the job. A spoon. The humblest utensil in your kitchen just made your fancy knife look stupid. 11. Most people grip a steering wheel at 10 and 2. That was the standard for decades. Modern airbags changed everything. If the bag deploys at 10 and 2, your own hands get launched straight into your face. 9 and 3 keeps your arms out of the blast zone. Your driving instructor taught you the outdated version. Surprise. 12. Those tiny paper ketchup cups at fast food spots fan out. Pull the pleated edges apart and the cup opens into a wide, flat dish perfect for dipping. You've been performing microsurgery with a single fry in a thimble-sized cup when you were holding a full plate the entire time. Criminal lack of public awareness on this one. 13. The drawer under your oven isn't storage. On most models, it's a warming drawer, built to keep finished dishes hot while you cook everything else. You've been treating it like a dark cave for baking sheets. Meanwhile, the oven was down there like, I have a whole feature and you gave me sheet pans. 14. A Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead are not interchangeable. Shoving a flathead into a Phillips screw and cranking it strips the grooves immediately. You feel it working, but you're destroying it. Every stripped screw in your house is a tiny monument to impatience. A whole gallery of them, probably. 15. Toilet plungers and sink plungers are two completely different tools. The flat-bottomed one is for sinks. Toilets need a flange plunger with that soft rubber extension that creates a seal. So every panicked bathroom moment where nothing happened, no matter how hard you pumped, wrong weapon, entirely. 16. Liquids go into a blender first. Then soft stuff. Frozen ingredients last on top. If you drop ice in first and hit puree, the blades just scream against a frozen wall while the motor quietly reconsiders its life choices. There's a reason your smoothies come out chunky. You've been bullying your blender. 17. Tic Tacs have a built-in dispenser that nobody uses. That oval-shaped indent inside the lid catches exactly one Tic Tac when you tilt the container gently. Instead, everyone shakes the box like a maraca and launches 6 mints across the car dashboard. The container was designed with elegance. We chose chaos. 18. That hole in your pot handle isn't decorative. It holds your stirring spoon. Slide it right in and it stays put. No more balancing it on the rim, no more sauce dripping down the side of the pot and pooling into a little modern art piece on your stove. The handle tried to help, you just never let it. 19. You plug in your USB cable. It doesn't fit, you flip it, still doesn't fit, you flip it again and suddenly it works. The USB logo always faces up on horizontal ports and toward you on vertical ones. There was a rule this entire time. Billions of humans just stood there fighting a tiny rectangle in the dark for absolutely no reason. 20. You sit on the toilet wrong. Humans were designed to squat, not sit at a 90-degree angle on a porcelain throne. That modern posture kinks your colon and makes everything harder than it needs to be. A small footstool fixes the angle completely. The entire Western world has been pooping wrong for over a century. Let that one land. 21. You put food right in the center of the microwave. That's the one spot that barely moves on the turntable. Set it near the edge so it actually rotates through the hot zones. The whole point of the spinning plate is movement, and you've been parking your leftovers in the one place that cancels it out. 22. Antiperspirant goes on at night, not in the morning. Your sweat glands calm down while you sleep, so the active ingredients can actually sink in and block them properly. Morning application is just smearing product on top of sweat that already has a head start. You've been showing up to the fight after it was already over. 23. Q-tips were never meant for your ears. The box literally says not to stick them in your ear canal. All you're doing is pushing wax deeper, packing it down like you're loading a tiny musket. Doctors pull compacted wax out of Q-tip loyalists constantly. Your most trusted bathroom tool has been working against you. 24. That measuring tape hook at the end isn't broken. It moves on purpose. Slides out for outside measurements, slides in for inside ones. The play is exactly the width of the hook. Precision engineering that you almost tossed in the trash because you thought it was defective. You owe that tape measure a formal apology. 25. Store natural peanut butter upside down. The oil that separates floats to the bottom of the jar. Flip it right side up when you need it, and everything's already mixed. No stirring, no oily eruption all over your hands and the counter. The jar fixed itself while sitting in your pantry doing absolutely nothing. 26. Band-aids on fingertips fall off in about 45 seconds because you slap them on flat. Cut a small notch on each side of the pad, then wrap it around your fingertip. The flaps crisscross, grip tight, and suddenly the thing survives a whole day. 2 snips with scissors. Field medic energy. 27. You rinse your mouth with water right after brushing. That washes away the fluoride that's supposed to sit there and protect your enamel. Just spit out the excess. Don't rinse. Your toothpaste needs a few minutes to actually work, and you've been evicting it the second it showed up to do its job. 28. Loading plates in the dishwasher like a game of chance is why half your dishes come out still greasy. All plates should face the center, angled toward the spray arm. That's where the water pressure hits hardest. Random loading means a second cycle, more water, more electricity, and the quiet shame of hand-washing a fork. 29. You use way too much toothpaste. Ads show a thick ribbon covering the whole brush because that visual sells product. A pea-sized dot is all you actually need. More paste doesn't mean cleaner teeth. It means wasted fluoride and a mouthful of foam that makes you feel productive while doing absolutely nothing extra. 30. That diamond-shaped patch on your backpack has 2 slots cut into it. It's called a lash tab. Thread a cord or carabiner through, and you can hang gear on the outside of your bag. Hikers have used this for decades. Everyone else walked around with a perfectly good attachment point on their bag and never questioned it once. 31. Toilet seat covers in public restrooms have a flap. That flap goes in the front, hanging into the bowl, not the back. When you flush, the water catches it and pulls the whole cover down and away cleanly. You've been placing it backward in every airport and rest stop across this country, and the flap knew it the entire time. 32. Nail files only cut in one direction. Stroke from the outer edge toward the center, not back and forth like a tiny saw. That sawing motion splits the nail layers and causes peeling. Every cracked, ragged nail you've ever blamed on genetics was probably just bad technique dressed up as a mystery. 33. If you towel dry your hair by rubbing it back and forth like you're buffing a car, you're shredding the cuticle every time. Wet hair is at its weakest. Squeeze and pat. That's the whole move. The damage you do in 30 seconds every morning takes your hair weeks to undo. Gentle is not optional. 34. A staple remover opens key rings in 2 seconds flat. Slide the teeth under the ring, squeeze, and it separates instantly. No broken fingernails, no blood sacrifice. That tool has been sitting in your desk drawer while you spent 5 minutes turning purple trying to pry open a tiny metal spiral with raw determination. 35. You hang shirts and button the top button to keep them on the hanger. Button the second button instead and loop the collar over the hook. The shirt sits centered, the collar holds its shape, and nothing slides off every time you open the closet door. 1 button lower, 0 clothing avalanches. 36. Your side mirrors shouldn't show your own car. Angle them outward until your car just barely disappears from view. That eliminates most of your blind spot. Right now, you've got 2 mirrors dedicated to staring at your own rear quarter panels, which is the vehicular equivalent of only looking in a hand mirror. 37. You squeeze a lemon by pressing and twisting with your bare hand like it personally insulted you. Stick a fork in the cut side and twist that instead. The prongs tear through the membranes and you get nearly double the juice with half the effort. Bare-knuckle citrus combat was never the play. 38. When you peel a hard-boiled egg, you pick at tiny shell fragments for an eternity. Tap both ends, peel a small hole at each, then blow hard into the narrow end. The egg shoots out clean. 1 breath. No shell under your fingernails. No standing at the sink doing an archaeological dig on your breakfast. 39. The little bumps on the F and J keys on your keyboard exist, so your fingers can find home position without looking down. They've been there on every keyboard you've ever touched. You've been typing for years, eyes bouncing between screen and keys, while 2 tiny ridges have been quietly volunteering to help. 40. Point your car's AC vents at the ceiling, not your face. Cold air sinks naturally. Aim upward, and it falls evenly across the whole cabin instead of freeze-drying your eyeballs while everyone in the back seat slowly melts. Let physics distribute the air. Your face will thank you. So will your passengers. 41. Ketchup bottles with the number 57 on the neck have a sweet spot. Tap right on that 57 with your palm. It's the thinnest part of the glass, and the vibration loosens everything up. Smacking the bottom does almost nothing except make you look like you're publicly disciplining a condiment. Hit the 57. Trust the process. 42. When you wrap a cord around your hand and elbow, you're bending the internal wires at sharp angles every time. Eventually, they snap. Professionals use the over-under method, alternating loop directions so the cable lies flat. Your dead phone chargers aren't effective products. They're victims of your folding technique. 43. Cupcakes are sandwiches waiting to happen. Twist off the bottom half and place it on top of the frosting. Now every single bite has frosting in the middle. No mess on your face. No frosting mustache at a children's birthday party. The cupcake was always a structural problem, and you just became the engineer who fixed it. 44. Holding a wine glass by the bowl feels natural. It's also wrong. Your hand warms the wine and changes the flavor. The stem exists specifically to keep your body heat away from the drink. Centuries of winemakers designed that stem on purpose, and the entire wine industry has watched you palm it like a baseball at every dinner party. 45. Your fridge has a crisper drawer with a humidity slider you've never adjusted. Fruits need low humidity, vegetables need high. If everything's set the same, half your produce is rotting while the other half is wilting. The fix is a tiny plastic tab that takes 1 second to move. It's been waiting patiently since you moved in. 46. A stuck lock doesn't need WD-40 or a locksmith. Rub a pencil tip along the teeth of your key. The graphite lubricates the pins inside the lock instantly. A number 2 pencil, the most boring object in human history, just solved a problem you've been fighting with brute force and creative profanity for years. 47. Your dustpan has a serrated rubber edge on the back you've never noticed. Sweep the broom bristles across it, and it combs out all the trapped hair and dust. Your broom has been carrying a small ecosystem around the house because the cleaning tool for your cleaning tool was built right into the dustpan, and you walked past it every time. 48. Ziploc bags have a small tab on the top corner you're supposed to pull to open them. Instead, you claw at the seal like you're breaking into a vault. The tab separates both sides smoothly. No ripping. No accidental explosion of frozen peas across the kitchen floor. One pull, that's the whole system. 49. You use way too much laundry detergent. The cap lines are set high on purpose, so you pour more and replace sooner. Most loads need about half of what the cap suggests. Extra soap doesn't mean cleaner clothes. It means residue buildup, stiff fabric, and a washing machine that starts smelling like a swamp by Friday. 50. That loop on the back of your dress shirt isn't a factory leftover. It's a hanger loop. Slide it over a hook and the shirt keeps its shape without a full hanger. It was designed for dorm rooms, gym lockers, and the back of bathroom doors. You've ironed over it 1,000 times without once asking why it existed. 51. Juice boxes have those little flaps on the sides that fold out into handles. They exist so kids can hold the box without squeezing it and launching juice through the straw like a tiny pressure cannon. Parents have been handing toddlers juice grenades for decades while the box was literally screaming, "Unfold me," the whole time. 52. You grip a pen like you're trying to choke the life out of it. Fingers should rest about an inch above the tip, lightly. A death grip causes hand cramps, shaky lines, and calluses that suggest you've been in a lifelong cage fight with a ballpoint. Loosen up. The pen was never trying to escape. 53. You peel oranges starting from the top, tearing the skin into 100 tiny pieces and getting pith under every fingernail. Roll the orange on a hard surface first, pressing firmly. The peel loosens from the fruit inside. After that, one thumb push, and the whole thing opens clean. No carnage. 54. Wooden hangers aren't just fancy. Most are cedar, which naturally repels moths and absorbs moisture from your closet. You replaced them with plastic from the dollar store and wondered why your good sweaters had holes by spring. The hangers were bodyguards. You fired them and hired pool noodles as replacements. 55. Paper coffee cup lids have a small fold-back tab on the drinking hole. Push it in, and it locks the opening so the flap doesn't smack you in the nose every sip. A tiny engineered detail built into something you throw away in 20 minutes. The lid was trying to improve your morning and you never even noticed. 56. You stack groceries in the car and the bread always ends up crushed. Most grocery carts have small metal loops on the fold-out top section for hanging lightweight bags separately. The cart was offering a VIP section for your eggs and chips, and you just piled everything in together like a grocery demolition derby. 57. There's a right way to hold a burger and it's not the way you're doing it. Thumbs and pinkies on the bottom, remaining fingers on top. This gives actual structural support instead of letting the whole thing collapse sideways. Put the thicker bun half on top. Engineering solved. Napkin usage cut in half. 58. Your ceiling fan has a switch on the motor housing that reverses blade direction. Counterclockwise in summer pushes cool air down. Clockwise in winter pulls cool air up and circulates the warm stuff trapped near the ceiling. One tiny switch changes the whole room, and you've been running yours the same direction since the day you moved in. 59. You pull the tab on a soda can straight back and drink. Spin the tab around over the opening and you've got a straw holder. Slide the straw through the hole in the tab and it stays locked in place. No more chasing a floating straw around the can with your mouth. The whole mechanism was built for this and nobody ever thought to use it. 60. You peel potatoes before boiling them. Boil them whole with the skin on first. Once they're cooked, dunk them in ice water and the skin slides right off with your fingers. No peeler, no wasted potato. No standing at the sink shaving a raw potato for 10 minutes like you're whittling a canoe out of a vegetable. 61. You tie your shoes with a standard knot and they come undone by lunch. That's because you're tying a granny knot instead of a reef knot. The fix is stupid simple. Switch the direction of your first loop. Left over right, then right over left. The knot lays flat, pulls tight, and stays tied. You learned wrong as a kid and never questioned it. 62. Spray sunscreen doesn't work the way you think. Most people mist it on like perfume and walk away. You're supposed to spray it close to the skin, rub it in evenly, and apply the same amount you would with lotion. That light cloud you walk through at the beach covers about 5% of your body. Maybe. 63. Your iron has a setting for every fabric and almost nobody changes it. Cotton needs high heat, silk will melt, polyester burns. You've been running one temperature across everything in the basket and wondering why half your clothes come out shiny or singed. The dial is right there. It even has little pictures on it. 64. Earbuds fall out of your ears because you push them straight in. Insert them, then twist slightly forward toward your face. The earbud locks into the ridge of your ear canal and stays put. Every jog, every commute, every single time you've reshoved a bud back into your ear like it owed you money, the twist was the missing step. 65. When you scoop ice cream, you dig straight in and bend the spoon fighting a frozen brick. Run the scoop under hot water for a few seconds first. It glides through like butter. No wrist injuries, no bending silverware. Your freezer isn't making ice cream too hard. You're just going in cold, literally, and expecting a miracle. 66. You load a stapler by prying it open from the top. Most staplers have a button on the back that releases the tray so it slides out smoothly. No fighting the spring. No losing tiny staples across your desk. One button. The stapler tried to make this easy for you. You chose violence every single time. 67. Your vacuum has a height setting on the base for different floor types. Wrong setting means weak suction on carpet or scratched hardwood. You've been running one mode across your entire house like every surface is identical. The living room carpet and the kitchen tile have very different needs, and you've been ignoring both equally. 68. You shave against the grain because it feels like a closer shave. It is. It's also how you get razor burn, ingrown hairs, and a neck that looks like it lost a fight. First pass goes with the grain. Second pass goes across. That's the move. Against the grain is the final boss, not the opening move, and your skin has been paying for that mistake. 69. You rinse raw chicken before cooking it. Don't. All you're doing is splashing bacteria across your sink, counter, and anything within a 3-foot radius. Cooking kills the bacteria. Rinsing just spreads it. The USDA has been begging people to stop for years, and America collectively said, "Nah, my grandma did it." 70. When you pump gas, you click the handle and stand there holding it in the cold. Most pump handles have a small metal clip or notch that locks the trigger in place so you can let go. It pumps by itself and clicks off automatically when your tank is full. You've been hand-holding a gas pump like it needed emotional support. 71. You blow on hot food to cool it down. Stirring works faster. Blowing only hits the surface. Stirring circulates the heat and brings hotter liquid to the top where it releases steam. You've been huffing over your soup like a malfunctioning air conditioner when a spoon would have done the job in half the time. 72. Your extension cord has a wattage rating printed on it, and you've never once looked at it. Plug in something that exceeds it, and the cord overheats. People daisy-chain thin indoor cords across entire houses, running space heaters like it's an extreme sport. That's not creative wiring. That's auditioning for a fire department safety video. 73. Rubbing alcohol isn't for cleaning wounds. It kills bacteria but also destroys healthy tissue and slows healing. Use soap and water, then an antibiotic ointment. That burning sting you associate with cleaning. A cut is actually your skin cells getting nuked alongside the germs. Pain doesn't mean it's working. 74. You hold scissors with your fingers crammed into both holes equally. The big hole is for multiple fingers. The small one is just for your thumb. Proper grip gives you way more control and leverage. You've been operating scissors at half capacity since kindergarten and blaming them every time they chewed through wrapping paper. 75. When you mop, you probably dunk the mop, wring it a little, and slap it on the floor soaking wet. The floor should be barely damp. Too much water warps wood, loosens tile adhesive, and just pushes dirty water around without actually cleaning anything. You've been giving your floors a bath when they needed a wipe down. 76. You store batteries in the fridge because someone told you it makes them last longer. It doesn't. Cold temperatures can actually cause condensation inside the battery casing and corrode the contacts. Room temperature, dry place. That's it. The fridge battery myth has survived longer than most actual batteries. 77. Plug a USB drive into your laptop and yank it out when you're done. That safely eject notification exists because the computer might still be writing data. Pull it mid-write and you corrupt the drive. That little pop-up you've been ignoring for 15 years was trying to save your files. You click dismiss every single time. 78. Your washing machine has a filter you've never cleaned. It catches lint, coins, hair, and everything else you left in your pockets. On front loaders, it's usually behind a small panel at the bottom. Open it and prepare to meet a collection of items you forgot existed. The smell alone will be a religious experience. 79. You squeeze glue bottles straight down and get a giant blob every time. Hold the bottle upside down for a second, tap out the air bubble, then squeeze gently. Controlled, clean line. The difference between a craft project and a disaster zone is 3 seconds of patience. You've never had those 3 seconds. Nobody has. 80. Your computer monitor is too close and too low. The top of the screen should be at eye level, about an arm's length away. Most setups look like they were arranged by someone who wanted to speed-run a neck injury. By 3 in the afternoon, your posture has the structural integrity of a wet noodle. Move the screen up, your spine is begging. 81. You sharpen knives by dragging the blade towards you. Move it away from you, edge first, at about a 20-degree angle. Going the wrong direction folds the edge over instead of sharpening it. You've been making your knives duller every time you sharpened them. That's a special level of counterproductive right there. 82. Your dryer has a lint trap you clean after every load. Good. But the vent hose behind the dryer also collects lint over time and nobody touches it. Clogged dryer vents cause thousands of house fires a year in the US alone. That flexible tube behind your laundry machine is not a set-it-and-forget-it situation. 83. When you paint a room, you press the roller into the tray and go straight for the wall. Pros roll the loaded roller on the flat section of the tray first to distribute paint evenly. Skip that, and you get streaks, drips, and one thick edge that dries darker than everything else. The tray has a flat section for exactly this reason. 84. You put your cutting board on the counter and it slides around every time you chop something. Wet a paper towel, lay it flat under the board, and the thing locks in place. No sliding. No near-death experiences with a knife. Chefs do this first thing, every time. Your cutting board has been skating across the counter because nobody taught you the paper towel trick. 85. Contact lens. Solution isn't eye drops. You can't just squirt it into your eyes whenever they feel dry. It's formulated to disinfect lenses, not moisturize eyeballs. Using it as drops can irritate and damage the surface of your eye over time. Actual re-wetting drops exist. They're on the same shelf, right next to the solution. 86. You fill ice cube trays all the way to the top and end up with a frozen lake that fuses every cube into one solid block. Fill each section about 3/4 full. Water expands as it freezes and fills the rest. Clean individual cubes every time. No cracking, no wrestling an ice slab like you're breaking apart a frozen puzzle. 87. Your garbage disposal needs cold water while running, not hot. Hot water melts grease temporarily, then it resolidifies deeper in the pipe and builds up into a clog. Cold water keeps grease solid, so the blades can chop it up and flush it through. Your plumbing has been slowly choking because you were trying to be nice to it. 88. Grip a hammer at the end of the handle, not near the head. The length is the leverage. Choking up gives you less power, less accuracy, and makes every swing work harder than it needs to. The handle is that long for a reason. Use the whole thing. Your nails will go in straighter, and your arm will thank you. 89. Those silica gel packets that come in shoe boxes and electronics say, "Do not eat," but they don't say, "Throw away." Toss them in your gym bag to absorb moisture. Put them with your important documents to prevent mold. Drop one in your phone if it gets wet. You've been throwing away free desiccants your entire life. 90. When you reheat rice or pasta in the microwave, it comes out dry and rubbery. Toss a damp paper towel over the plate or drop an ice cube on top. The moisture turns to steam and rehydrates everything as it heats. Your sad, crunchy leftover pasta was never the microwave's fault. It was begging for water. 91. You dry your cast iron skillet and put it away. It needs a thin coat of oil after every wash. Heat it on the stove for a minute, wipe a tiny amount of oil across the surface, and let it cool. Skip this, and the pan rusts. That crusty orange skillet in the back of your cabinet died from neglect, not old age. 92. Wrapping paper tubes have a serrated cutting strip built into the box. Pull the paper over the edge and it tears in a clean line. You've been wrestling wrapping paper on the floor with dull scissors, cutting jagged lines like a crime scene outline, when the box itself was a cutting tool this entire time. Every Christmas, every birthday, wasted. 93. When you pour cooking oil, you pour from the side closest to the pan and it drips down the bottle every single time. Rotate the bottle so the opening faces away from the label, pouring from the back edge. Oil runs clean off the lip. No dripping. No greasy ring on the counter. One rotation solves it. 94. You tighten screws until they feel snug, then give one more crank for good measure. That extra turn strips the hole. Wood screws especially. Snug is the goal, not maximum torque. Your instinct to hulk out on the final turn has destroyed more furniture and drywall anchors than any actual structural failure ever could. 95. Zip ties have a release tab. That little flat piece where the tail enters the head lifts up and unlocks the whole thing. You've been cutting them off and throwing them away when every single one was reusable. An entire lifetime of destroyed zip ties that could have been saved. Not a design flaw, a knowledge gap. 96. Your pizza cutter works better if you roll it backward first, then forward through the slice. The backward roll seats the blade into the crust. The forward push cuts clean without dragging all the toppings along for the ride. One extra motion and your pizza stops looking like it survived a custody dispute. 97. You store knives loose in a drawer where they bang against everything. That destroys the edge faster than actual use. A magnetic strip, a knife block, or even blade guards keep them sharp between uses. Your knives aren't getting dull from cutting food. They're getting dull from rolling around in a drawer like bumper cars. 98. You plug in your space heater and blast it all night. Space heaters are supposed to heat the room, not cook it. They're designed for short-term, supervised use in small areas. Running one overnight in a closed room is one of the top causes of house fires in the country. The set-it-and-forget-it approach works for rotisserie chickens, not heating appliances. 99. You crack open a pistachio and toss the shell. Keep one half. Use it to pry open the stubborn ones that are barely cracked. Wedge it in the gap and twist. Works every time. You've been breaking fingernails on tight pistachios when every single bowl already contained the perfect opening tool. Hundreds of them. 100. You put way too much food on your fork. A proper forkful is about the size of your thumbnail. Smaller bites mean more chewing, more flavor, and your body actually registers fullness before you've inhaled an entire plate in 4 minutes. You've been shoveling food like a competitive eater and wondering why you feel like a balloon after every meal. 101. You twist jar lids as tight as humanly possible before putting them away. That's how jars get stuck. Snug is enough. The seal does the work, not your grip strength. Every jar you've struggled to open was probably sealed shut by someone who cranked it like they were locking a bank vault. That someone was almost certainly you. That was 101 everyday things, and not a single one required a degree or special equipment to fix. Just knowledge nobody bothered to pass along. So here's what I want to know. Comment right now. Which one of these are you going to completely ignore and keep doing the wrong way anyway, and why? I know there's at least one. Defend yourself. Like this video if you learned something you're embarrassed you didn't already know, and subscribe because next time it's going to be even worse.